Every moment this season has been leading up to right here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rams football presented by Relyance Bank. I'm Chase Hartzell alongside Landon Dockery.
It's a chilly November evening here at J.W. Chick Austin Field, but the matchup will definitely be hot where the Goblins are facing the Rams.
And as you said, Dockery, the Rams taking on the Goblins tonight in what will be their third straight playoff appearance. But before we get that show on the road, we're proud to present the newest edition of our Coaches Show, as well as a sit-down interview with Harrison Broadcasting Director Court Hunt. Don't go anywhere. More Lakeside football after this.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week one of playoff action where the Rams host the Goblins. We're sitting down here with
Court Hunt. Hi. Pleasure to be here.
Let's start off. How long have you been in broadcasting?
This is my second year.
How long has Harrison been broadcasting?
6 years.
Okay, let's start off talking about some football.
Let's get down
Gabe
to it.
Husky. He's the driving force for the Goblins. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, he has more yards than the rest of the team combined. What makes him so special?
Well, I'd say it's a team effort, because you got to get good blockers up front for him to even think about running the football. But Gabe, he's special breed. He's just really fast, quick on his feet, and even if the blockers don't hold up, he's already calculated, where to go, what move to do, and it's just really special to see in a sophomore. So I'd say, what makes him special just how fast he is, and how fast he thinks.
What's the key for Lakeside to stop him?
To stop him, I'd say just protect the run. Well, don't let Harrison run the ball, and make them look to pass a little bit more, and that's about it. Just pressuring us to pass more.
What's the key for Lakeside to beat Harrison?
For Lakeside to beat Harrison, obviously, we both have good running backs, so keeping the defense off the field, and by that just forcing us to get 3 and outs, and us forcing you to get 3 and outs as well. Just keeping our offense off the field and making us play your game.
The loss at Alma, 35-34. I mean, that's a close loss. 1 point. Talk us through that game. Was it like an off game? Was it bad luck?
Well, last year we played them completely opposite, not even close. I think they had their third string in, and it was miserable to watch. But then this year, they came in, everyone was looking forward to it, make up for last year, and we led most of the game. And then third quarter, we came out I think Alma scored 3 touchdowns, and they were up. And then the final minute, we scored, and then we had the option for kicking the extra point, going overtime, or going for 2 and winning it. And just came up short. Obviously we want to win that game, but like I said, 1 point this year, and last year they blew us out. So we were getting better, and that's all we can really say. But it was a close game.
Is there any questions you have for us?
Yes. What would Harrison have to do to stop Dupree Swanson?
Landon?
I think it's important if Harrison wants to stop Dupree Swanson is for on those outside runs for your cornerbacks to get in there quick and not give the opportunity for those guards to set up blocking for Dupree Swanson downfield.
You got anything else?
I think that's about it for me. Thanks for standing up here with us and having this conversation. We
Not a
appreciate
problem.
it. Stay tuned for some live football action here at Lakeside TV.
Go Gobs.
This week's playoff edition of the Lakeside Coaches Show. Once again, we're going to kick it off this week with Coach McBride. Coach McBride, thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
All right, so another big win this past week on the road against inner-city rival Hot Springs. You know, a great balanced attack all around on both sides of the ball. What was really clicking in this game?
I think our kids prepared well and played well. Overall, had a good game plan and they executed it. Anytime that you get to play your rival to finish the season, it's a special night and meant a lot to our guys and something they'll remember forever. I think we were very balanced offensively, able to put the ball in the air, throw and catch pretty well. Ran the ball just enough, and then defensively played really well. They kind of came out in a spread look that we hadn't seen a whole bunch of, and I think our kids adjusted well and played hard.
Was there a player or a group of players that really stood out in this game?
You know, I think Taylor had probably his best night passing the football overall, just making good decisions, and receivers caught the ball well, and then yards after catch were big for him also. Running back wise, Mike ran very well, ran hard, and kind of blocked well for him up front. Defensively, we just kind of ran around and we're fast and tackled well and created some turnovers. So overall, just a good, solid football game from us.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, Michael, you know, you have the 1-2 punch of Michael James and Dupree Swanson in that run game. You know, how's that going to benefit you headed into the playoffs?
It means a lot to our team. You know, they block well for each other and they run hard, and they're kind of the key to our offense. And they both got to have big nights coming up this week.
So, looking back at the preseason, you know, is this team where you wanted them to be heading into the playoffs?
I think so. I think we're right where we need to be. I think we've progressed along throughout the season. We've had some ups and downs like any team will do, but I think we're right where we need to be and healthy and ready for a good playoff run.
Mm-hmm. And so now let's move on to the playoff outlook. You know, Lakeside was placed in the West Division of 5A,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the matchup this week against Harrison, which we'll get to in a minute. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. PA is also placed in that Western Division, you know, with a win here potentially facing PA next week. You know, are you nervous or excited knowing there's a potential matchup with the Bruins?
You know, we're excited about the ball game we have this week. You know, it's going to be a tough one versus Harrison, and whoever we get next, we'll deal with next. But right now, we're really focused on our first round game, which will be a tough one.
Mm-hmm. So Harrison and play style is kind of similar to Lakeside. They've even got their own 1-2 punch. Of course, Gabe Husky has stats almost identical to Dupree, and they have their own 1-2 punch with Husky and Dittmanson, which is similar to the Swanson-James combination from this Rams team. You know, how do you face a team that's so similar to you on paper?
You know, they are a lot like us in a lot of aspects. They're physical up front. Their backs run hard. Quarterbacks make good decisions, and they compete. And it should set up for a really good playoff football game.
So, is there anybody else from this Goblins team that's really garnered your attention?
You know, they play a lot of guys both ways. So you see a lot of guys show up on both sides of the ball. That means they mean a lot to their team. They're aggressive football players. But overall, I think that we can just kind of focus on us and handle our business, and we should be able to get a win.
What are you expecting from the Goblins defense this?
They're a solid defense. They don't gamble. They're very well coached. You can tell that they fit their gaps correctly and that they play hard. Traditional 4-3 defense and don't really vary from that. Very strong, big guys up front. So just kind of expect a good battle from those guys and our offensive linemen.
So the main goal for the season heading in was a deeper run for this team in the playoffs. You know, what can we be watching for as a key to success?
You know, for us, it's that we prepare well every day, and we've had a good week of practice, and that means a lot to me, knowing that we'll be ready to play on Friday. And if we'll keep getting better during the week and are hungry enough to compete on Friday and keep progressing, we have a chance to play for a while, and that's been our goal since the very beginning.
And one more thing we've talked about, we've noticed over the last few games, you know, Taylor Gillum's had some pretty consistent ball here in conference play. Of course, those early season struggles, but he's really turned it around, and this team's turned it around in the process. Would you say that his consistency is a real key to success for this team?
It is. You know, we've got confidence in him, and the main thing is he's got confidence in himself. And the more balanced we are, the better we are offensively. So, you know, rightfully so, the better he plays, the better we play.
How's the atmosphere for the playoffs this week going to compare to a normal regular season game?
You know, it's going to be special. Just that we get to play at home, and we know we're going to have a great home crowd, and that you know that if you lose, that you're done. So it's a little bit more pressure on you and on our group, and I think our seniors will relish that and prepare well and play hard.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thanks so much.
And we'll be right back with this week's special guest.
Do you talk to your family without really communicating? Our new Lennox Ultimate Comfort System communicates with each component of the system, which communicates with you at home or away, giving you the ultimate control and perfect air. Wouldn't it be nice if everything in your life worked that well together?
Call Grisham Air Care for perfect air in your home.
Grisham Air Care and Lennox, the ultimate home comfort team. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Welcome back to the Lakeside Coaches Show, everyone. At this time, we're joined by Lakeside defensive back and strength and conditioning coach, Jeff McBride. Coach McBride, thanks for sitting down with us.
You bet. Glad to be here.
So are you Coach McBride's older brother?
I am, yeah. About 6 years, I guess.
So who had the talent on the field growing up?
Well, whenever I was playing, I had the talent. But whenever he got up and started playing, he had some talent as well. So it worked hand in hand. It was pretty special to get to watch him play after I was gone.
So can you tell us more about your career in football?
Well, you know, I played quarterback in high school at Nashville as well, and you know, I played for a different coach. I actually played for Gary Segrist, who ended up coaching here. That was my high school coach, and we played a different ball game. So I got to hand the ball off a lot and run a lot, and we had fun playing. Not quite as much as success as when Coach Billy Laird got there and Jared took over as quarterback, and they did a great deal as well. So Nashville was a fun place to play ball.
So this is the quarterback position running the family?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we had fun playing it.
So now we move on to this team here, the 2017 Lakeside Rams. One of the great stories this season has been Enrique Ayon. You know, we've said it a lot this season, but it's true. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and he's proven that all year long. So how has Enrique worked around his size disadvantage?
I tell you what, it's mostly it's just hustle and willingness and want to. I mean, he's got it built in. He's got a motor that doesn't stop, and I love him to death. He plays so hard, and really that's what it amounts to. And he learns. He studies the game, and he knows where he's supposed to be. And when you are size disadvantaged, you have to do things like that. He does a real good job at it.
So moving on, you know, as Coach McBride always says, senior leadership is key to success on this team. How have guys like Brandon Chambers and David Reaganhart, you know, affected this team and really stepped into leadership roles?
Well, I tell you what, we've got 3 seniors that I work with, and David and Chambers are you know, there are 2 of them, and then you've got Landon Muldoon. He does a great job as well. They all 3 do a good job because they lead in different ways. And I've had a good time working with them because I've got to experience those different ways that they do that. You know, Landon, he's on the field. You know, he leads by example. You know, Chambers, Brandon, he's not afraid to tell you what he thinks, and he's done a real good job working with some of my younger corners and trying to build them up. David, I tell you what I like about David is we didn't even think he was going to play that spot. You know, he was primarily offense, and then all of a sudden we needed a tiger, and he said, "Hey, Coach, I'll do it," out of the blue, and he stepped in and has done a great job. We've been lucky to have those guys.
So what are your thoughts on their performance this season?
I thought they've done great, as a group. I think they work good together. I think they all have, I've got Fleming as well, Keelan at the other corner. They, as a group of five, the tools that all five of them have, they just mesh together and work well as a group.
And speaking of Keelan Fleming, he's made a lot of great plays over the course of this season. The one that really stands out to me was that INT in the game against Camden Fairview, closing off the game really in that one. What are some of your favorite moments from him, or maybe from any of these DBs over the season?
Well, I'm one of those. I'm kind of old school when it comes to that. I don't remember all of the big plays like everyone does. I'm one of those that I remember all the times where everybody does exactly what they're supposed to do. And whenever that happens, usually you do get big plays. And like the one you're talking about with Keelan, he was right where he was supposed to be. And that's what I like to see. And then he's athletic enough to make a play like that to end the game. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of great plays that I necessarily remember. I just like the games where they all do exactly what they're supposed to do.
Do you maybe have a favorite game where these DBs really stepped up?
I think that not necessarily. I think they've progressively gotten better throughout the season. I really do. And I think what they do is they take from the mistakes they make every week, they really work on getting those corrected every single week. So I guess I would have to say this last game. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just a progression process.
Yes, exactly.
So despite the focus mainly being, we move on to this matchup next week against Harrison, despite the focus mostly being on their heavy run game, they can hurt you through the air too. Noah Dittmanson, their quarterback, has thrown over 1,300 yards, to favorite targets like Daniel McCormick, Caleb Husky, and Cameron Jones. So, how much have they played into the game plan for this game?
Well, I tell you where they get you is the fact that they are so heavy run. Whenever they do throw, it's usually off of a play action pass. And, it's tough on us as DBs. We want to come up and make plays and make tackles as well. And we don't like big run plays. So we come up and try to help with those. And, when they do hit you on a pass, you've got to be ready to redirect and get back in your zones and so forth. They do a real good job of it. They throw a lot of big balls up top, and we've got to make sure that we're back ready to make those plays. They've got 2 or 3 guys that they really key on, and we've got to make sure we know where they are on the field.
Would you say playing back is a key to success in this game?
I think we got to keep the ball in front of us. Definitely, we don't want, and that's something that we try to do on a game-to-game basis, but especially in this one, we need to keep them in front of us, obviously, but at the same time, we just don't need any big plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So before we close off this segment, we also know that you're the strength and conditioning coach. Of course, those two aren't the most glorified in football, but how crucial are they to a team's success?
Well, I tell you what I like about what I do is the fact that, it is kind of a quiet job, but at the same time, I feel it's one of the most important. I really do. If you don't get it done in the weight room, and I tell them every day, what we do during the season right now, we're just trying to stay healthy. We're trying to, we're not trying to build and bulk right now. We're trying to build muscle and try to stay healthy. But, after the season, between now and between then and August, we're gonna get after it and really try to bulk up and get stronger, because it's definitely a key to success, without a doubt.
It definitely helps out with the longevity in that.
Oh yeah.
Now 11-game season.
Exactly.
So one last question, and this is one that we like to ask all of our guest coaches. Over the time you spent in football, what is the most important lesson the game has taught you?
Oh man, how to be a man. That's what I always go back to. This game teaches you, on a play-to-play basis, on a day-to-day basis, and a practice-to-practice, game-to-game. It's how to be a man and how to grow up, and not just on the field, but in the locker room, and in the, anytime you're together as a team. And it teaches you how to be a good teammate and be a good man.
That's great. And before you go, we've got one more segment. This is our Ball of Fame. Anytime we have any guests in the studio, player, coach, we have them sign this ball. So would you sign this for us before you go?
You bet. I normally charge for this. I'll sign Jeff. There you go.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good
Hey,
luck this week.
You bet. Enjoyed it.
Don't forget to come out and support your Rams this Friday as they take on the Harrison Goblins in the first round of the 5A playoffs. But if you can't make it, you can catch it right here on Lakeside TV. For now, this is Chase Hartzell signing off. Have a great week and go Rams.
He's going to take the snap. He's going to try to take it up the middle here, and it's off to the races. Touchdown, Lakeside.
Before you can find your potential, you first have to find your path. At National Park College, our mission is to help you do both, with a university experience that's close to home. With career-focused education, help with job placement and a variety of programs to choose from, and a cost that's less than half of four-year universities. National Park College can put you on the path to a better education. Visit np.edu today and find your path.
Welcome back to Rams football, everyone, presented by Relyance Bank. Relyance has played a large part in our presentations of broadcasts over the past few years by serving as our title sponsor. At this time, we'd like to thank them, as well as our other sponsors and supporters, for help making tonight's broadcast a reality. In addition to Relyance, we'd like to thank Grisham Air Care for their sponsorship of tonight's halftime festivities, and National Park College for their sponsorship of all the replays here tonight. We'd also like to recognize some of our additional sponsors, including Hayden, Myron, and Foster Law Firm, Gregor Auto Park, and Henderson State University. Last but certainly not least, we'd like to thank the Lakeside School Board and Administration for their help and support in all of this program's endeavors. Without them, we wouldn't be here bringing this game to you live here tonight. So once again, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors and supporters for helping us bring this game into your home.
Do you talk to your family without really communicating? Our new Lennox Ultimate Comfort System communicates with each component of the system, which communicates with you at home or away, giving you the ultimate control and perfect air. Wouldn't it be nice if everything in your life worked out well together?
Call Grisham Air Care for perfect air in your home.
Grisham Air Care and Lennox, the ultimate home comfort team. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Before you can find your potential, you first have to find your path. At National Park College, our mission is to help you do both, with a university experience that's close to home. With career-focused education, help with job placement and a variety of programs to choose from, and a cost that's less than half of four-year universities. National Park College can put you on the path to a better education. Visit np.edu today and find your path.
Exceeding expectations is not just a motto, it's what we do. At the Greg Orr Auto Collection in Hot Springs and the Greg Orr Auto Collection in Searcy. From offering you over 2,500 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, to giving you award-winning service in our modern state-of-the-art facilities, exceeding expectations is what we do.
At the Greg Orr Auto Collection in Hot Springs and Searcy, where we're exceeding expectations every day.
Right, and we are back live here at J.W. Chick Austin Field at Lakeside Stadium. This matchup coming up here against Harrison. Of course, this will be one of several 5A first-round matchups being played tonight. And of course, this Harrison team looks exactly like Lakeside almost on paper. And as the pregame festivities continue, let's take a look at both of these teams' road to the playoffs.
Lakeside started the season 0-3, just like they did 1 year ago. There were some doubts beginning in the season, but Lakeside quickly in conference won all their games except Watson Chapel. And we're going to take a look at Harrison's schedule. They had a great season. Lost to Little Rock Christian at home and only lost to Alma by 1 in a close game that came down to the final seconds.
And tonight, it's win or go home for both teams, and the Rams will need to look at several keys in order to achieve victory here tonight and live to play another game here in the 5A playoffs.
Lakeside keys to the game. Stop the run game, for Taylor Gillum to be consistent and to play smart and have discipline on defense. It's key for Lakeside to stop the run game because in all 3 of Harrison's losses, they were held to under 250 yards rushing. The only exception is the first game of the year versus Mount Home. And it's important to load the box early and force them to throw the ball. And second off, for Taylor Gillum to be consistent. Taylor Gillum's completion percentage is key. In the losses he's had this year versus Robertson, he's had 31% completion rate, and against Sylvan Hills, 28%, and against Malvern, 56%, and against Watson Chapel, 42%. In the wins he's had this year, it has been over 67%, and it is very important tonight that Taylor Gillum throws the football well. And lastly, play smart, discipline on defense. As we saw the last home game against Watson Chapel, penalties hurt Lakeside, and it is key for them to play smart. Back to you, Chase.
Yes, and definitely a lot weighing on this game here tonight. Of course, it's win or go home. Emotions are running high. And one of our featured players here tonight is Dupree Swanson. Here you take a look at Dupree's stats in his time here as a Ram. Of course, had a pretty impressive season last year, just 6 yards shy of 1,500 yards and 23 touchdowns. But this year, he stepped up his game even further. In just 10 games, he's nearing the 1,700 mark in yards and has 27 touchdowns. That's pretty incredible. And overall, he's put together a pretty great career here. Tonight, of course, looking to get 3,500 yards and currently sits at 52 touchdowns. But on the other side, the Goblins have a run threat of their own. In star and kind of a breakout star, really, sophomore Gabe Husky.
Gabe Husky's a great running back. They're both great running backs, except Gabe Husky is a lot smaller in weight than Dupree Swanson. He has a different running style. He's more of a speed guy. And Gabe Husky only beats Dupree Swanson by 1 yard. They are both great running backs, and Gabe Husky will be a fear to continue in the future. I look forward to seeing both these running backs face off tonight.
We're just about ready to get underway here, but before we do, we're going to take one last look at the final standings for the 5A South Conference, and we'll see how Lakeside finish. Of course, you can see 6-1, just shy of Watson Chapel, who was undefeated 7-0. Of course, that was a big part of that was decided in a game a couple of weeks ago here at J.W. Chick Austin Field. Watson Chapel taking that one 21-7. And, of course, like you said, Dockery penalties really hurt them in that game. And, again, as you said, you know, they got to play smart. A lot on the line here tonight.
So if you're Lakeside's offense starting off tonight, Chase, what kind of play calling would you have on that first drive to really set a tone?
Well, it's really going to be a feeling out process here in the early going. Both of these teams should probably know each other pretty well because they're so similar in style. Just like Lakeside, the Harrison Goblins run heavy. Of course, they utilize Gabe Husky to their full ability. And one guy we really haven't talked about is Noah Dittmanson, the senior quarterback. Of course, 1,300 yards passing on the year. He's got about 725 additional rushing yards to go along with that. An impressive 2,000 total yards on the year.
I think it'll be very interesting to see in the third and fourth quarter when that run game starts to go down for Lakeside if Taylor Gillum can begin to pass the ball.
And here come your Lakeside Rams. The Rams, of course, coming out to their signature entrance song, Inner Sandman. And Dockery, it's been a dream comeback for this team here this year, just like in 2016. Coming back from an 0-3 start to win 6 of their last 7 games.
It's incredible for Lakeside to stay positive last year and this year, starting off 0-3. Great job of them getting their mind straight, getting it done in the weight room, getting it done in practice to have a great end to their season. And they look forward trying to make a push in the playoffs.
And there's the kick, and we are underway.
And here comes Taylor Gillum and that Lakeside offense onto the field. Taylor Gillum is a junior at 6 foot, 185 pounds, with 1,110 yards on the season and 11 touchdowns. His season high, 244 yards last week at Hot Springs. You can definitely tell improvement on him as the season goes forward.
Gillum giving it off to Swanson here. And he's showing you why he's nearing 1,700 yards on the year. It's incredible the power this young man has. And he's been using it to his advantage all season long. Giving it off to Swanson there on the left side, and Swanson not wanting to go down at all. He's going to be taken down at around the 40-yard line. And that's going to bring up another Rams first down. Well, Dockery, you asked me a few minutes ago what to go for on this first drive. Why not go to old reliable Dupree Swanson? That seems what the Rams are going to do here.
Well, Dupree Swanson trailed Harrison's running back going into this game, but he is above him now for this season.
It's going to be encroachment on the Goblins. That'll move the Rams up 5 yards and deeper into Harrison territory. There's another give to Swanson on that right side. Swanson fighting his way down near that first down marker. It's going to bring up a 2nd and short for the Rams. And Dockery, one thing you talked about in the pregame show, of course, it's a chilly night here at J.W. Chick Austin Field. How do you think the weather's going to play a factor here tonight?
I think you're definitely, if you're a wide receiver, going to have to keep your hands warm so you can catch that ball easier.
You think we'll see these teams go to the air a lot, or do you think we'll see more ground and pound the longer this game goes on and the farther the temperature drops?
I think you're going to see more ground and pound. And so either defense begins to stop the run. Both of these teams are run heavy, and I think they will continue to do that until one defense decides to stop it.
This time it's going to be James on the run. That short gain there is going to set up the Rams with a 2nd and 7.
Well, Chase, it's the first quarter, and you've already seen Lakeside's running back 1-2 punch of Dupree Swanson and Michael James. I'm sure we'll see a lot of them this evening.
Yes, and there they go. To one member of that 1-2 punch, Dupree Swanson up the middle again. Of course, using that incredible strength he has. It really is unbelievable how much resiliency this young man has, especially coming off of tacklers. No one's really had an answer for him all season long.
Yes, that's why Taylor Gillum is a very important key to the game, because everyone knows Dupree Swanson is a target. And everyone knows Dupree Swanson is going to get his carries and his yards every single game. It's just important in the third and fourth quarter when the time's running down and the defense finally starts to stop the run that Taylor Gillum is able to pass the football to get that win. Dupree Swanson on this drive already has 37 yards.
And Swanson just bulldozing his way there through the Goblin D-line, easily getting the first down.
Dupree Swanson, standing at 5'10", 270 pounds, is definitely not afraid to tuck his head. Surprisingly, Dupree Swanson career high game was 265 yards against Malvern, which was a loss at home. That just tells you that he gets his yards every single game, Chase.
It really does, and that night, of course, it was a crazy game, a shootout game. On the other sideline, you had Demias Jimerson, who is an incredible athlete. The dual run pass threat as a quarterback. And unfortunately, the Rams just fell short in that second half.
I think one of the reasons for that 0-3 start this year, like last year, is, you know, you got to have a new quarterback coming in and starting that offense up. But I think it took him a couple games to get things kicking. Because in his first game, he had 3 interceptions, in the following 2 and the following 1. But his last 4 games, he has not thrown an interception.
And there goes Swanson again on that right side. One thing you said in the pregame show, Dockery, of course, the Goblins have got to limit the runs to the outside by Dupree Swanson. Got to get around those blockers. How do you think they're doing so far?
Well, Dupree Swanson's already got 50 yards on this drive on the night. They're not doing that good of a job, and I think it's going to take them a little while to get used to this offense. And I think it's a great job by Lakeside running the ball early, doing what they do best.
And once again, the Rams are going to convert on 4th down there. Moving the sticks and making this a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. It looks like the Rams are doing a great job of controlling time of possession here in the early going. already milked over 6 minutes off this clock. And as I say that, there goes Swanson trying to extend in past the goal line there. Falls just shy. Looked like he was stopped at around the 2-yard line.
Dupree Swanson literally running out of his shoes tonight.
Chilly night here at JW Chick Austin Field, but that hasn't stopped Ram fans from coming out and supporting their team. In this first round 5A playoffs matchup, there goes Dupree, and it's a touchdown for Lakeside. Dupree Swanson with another impressive touchdown run to add to his portfolio for this season and to his career. And that gives the Rams an early 6-0 advantage. There's Philip Gale, who kicks a PAT, and it is good. So with exactly 5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter of play, your score is Lakeside 7, Harrison nothing.
And we're going to take another look at that replay. Good blocking upfield, and Dupree Swanson was just easily able to knock it in there.
And of course, that last touchdown, number 28 on the year for Dupree, and actually a milestone touchdown, as that gives him more touchdowns than any Lakeside player rushing over the last 10 years. Of course, he was tied with Mo Bradford coming into this game. Excuse me, that's going to add on to his lead. He currently finds himself 2 above Mo Bradford, but still nonetheless an incredible season.
Well, Chase, there's an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. My bad. But you will continue to see Lakeside run the ball until it does not work anymore tonight.
It'll definitely be interesting to see if we see something here we haven't seen in the last decade. 30 touchdowns in a season by a Lakeside running back. Meanwhile, here's the kickoff. And it looked like there was a fumble. Does Lakeside have it? Lakeside indicates they have it. And they do. Rams football. And that one right there could be a momentum shifter. As we get later here in the first quarter of play. And Chick Austin Field coming alive after that last play.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want if you're the Goblins here. After that momentum touchdown, you definitely don't want Lakeside to put more points on the board.
And here we are over 7 minutes into the first quarter of play, and we still haven't seen Noah Dittmanson or Gabe Husky see what they can do for the Goblins. Meanwhile, here goes Gillum, airing it out long, and he has got Torrin Davis as his intended receiver, but it falls incomplete. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 here for the Rams.
Even though it was an incomplete pass, I really like the play call by Coach McBride, trying to open up the passing game early. I think it will be useful later in the game for Taylor Gillum to get comfortable passing early in this game.
Definitely, and that looked like a play we've seen very successful this season, of course. The Gillum. And meanwhile, hold on here. There goes Dupree Swanson. Touchdown, Lakeside. Swanson shaking off a couple wimpy tacklers as he made his way down to the goal line. His 29th on the year. And that gives the Rams a 2-score advantage here with less than 8 minutes gone here in the first quarter of play. PAT is good from Philip Gale, so with 4:35 remaining in the first quarter of play, your score is Lakeside 14, Harrison nothing.
Great job by Lakeside pulling offensive linemen, getting into the secondary, and just a great job by Dupree getting off blockers, keeping his balance, and able to walk into the end zone.
And while we're on that topic, let's talk about this Lakeside O-line. Of course, very young, a lot of juniors down there on the line. Didn't have much experience prior to this season, but they have made an impact in just 11 games here thus far. Coach McBride has been very pleased with their development, a special group of young men right there.
I like what Coach Bradley said 2 weeks ago in the coaches show about how Dupree should probably buy his offensive linemen some dinner. Dupree Swanson already 92 yards tonight and 2 touchdowns. Momentum is definitely on Lakeside's side so far tonight.
Philip Gale's teed up to kick this one away. Pretty decent kick there. And here comes Gabe Husky on the return. There he goes at the 30 and steps out of bounds near the 35-yard line. And so for the first time tonight, we're going to get to see this Goblins offense, of course, led by senior quarterback Noah Dittmanson. And as you just saw, Gabe Husky, who's really been a breakout star for this Goblins team this year. Sophomore running back, nearing 1,700 yards on the season. Currently sitting at 1,677. There's a quarterback keeper there from Dittmanson, but the Rams defensive line sniffed that one out pretty quickly. That's going to bring up a 2nd and long here for the Goblins.
Noah Dittmanson is definitely a crucial key to this Goblins offense.
And there goes Husky. And like you were talking about, Dockery, it's incredible the speed that this kid has. You know, he doesn't have as much weight on him, as much muscle on him as Dupree does, but he can sure use that speed to his advantage here in this matchup tonight.
Yes, they're both great running backs. Dupree Swanson's more of the guy, if you're in his way, he's going to run you over. But Gabe Husky, he's just going to beat you with the speed, Chase.
Meanwhile, Husky taking it over to the left side there for another Goblin first down. Moving into Ram territory. Perhaps something's starting to click here for the Goblins.
If you're the Goblins, you definitely can't waste no time in this game. Down 14-0.
Beautiful pass there from Noah Dittmanson over to the right side there, and it's going to be good enough for another Goblin first down. And that's what makes this Harrison team so unique. They can hurt you both on the ground and through the air. We'll see how that balanced attack helps them out in this one here tonight. Meanwhile, quarterback keeper here for Noah Dittmanson. The ball came out, and it looks like the Rams just got it again. But it looks like they're going to call him down.
And here's another look. Great job by Lakeside getting that ball out. And a good recovery by Harrison.
There it is, Husky off to the left side. John Fuller taking Husky down there in the backfield.
John Fuller is a weapon for the Lakeside offense as well as the defense. He plays guard sometimes, and likely you'll see him on the outside blocking upfield for Dupree Swanson.
And he had some big shoes to fill coming in this season, of course, following Jack Henry Hill, graduate last year, had over 100 tackles last season. But Fuller's putting together a really impressive season himself. Meanwhile, great play there by the Lakeside D, but hold on, looks like there's an injury on the field. Dittmanson's holding his knee, and it doesn't look good. And you hate to see this happen in the postseason, one of your key players going down. It definitely looks like Dittmanson's having some trouble with that right leg right now. Hopefully we'll see him return here in this one.
And here's another look. It's a great job by Alex Stewart getting up and continuing to pursue him. Chase, it just looks like he fell a little awkwardly on his leg there.
And it looked like that knee right there, like you said, Docker, yeah. Looks like he extended it just a little bit too much there.
That's definitely not how you want to see your quarterback fall, especially in the first
quarter of play. Harrison punting this ball away. It's a boomer down near the 10-yard line. And that's where the Rams offense is going to take over. And right now, Dockery, it looks like momentum is fully in the Rams' favor, up 2 scores here early in the first quarter.
You see Coach McBride talking to his young junior quarterback, Taylor Gillum, getting ready for this drive.
We have a penalty flag down here on the play.
Too many men on the field for Harrison. 5-yard penalty. A first down and 5 for the Rams.
The Goblins going to be penalized for having more than 11 men on the field there.
Definitely not what you need if you're Harrison right now.
And what's pretty unique, that was our first penalty flag of the evening. Of course, we had several in our last broadcast here at Lakeside TV in that decisive game against Watson Chapel. Of course, the Wildcats going on to win the 5A South Conference Championship. And a large part of that was due to many penalties on this Lakeside team.
And there you see Taylor Gillum. Great job completing the pass. Lakeside has a few leading receivers. They don't just have 1-star wide receiver, they have 4. Richard Gaston, great reception, 203 yards on the season and adding more tonight.
Handoff to number 39, Michael James. Making the stop for Harrison, number 24, Colin Millard.
Michael James, Dupree Swanson's right-hand man, coming into this game with 832 yards.
Second down for the Rams.
And this time, Michael James going to take the snap. He's going to run it to that right side.
Michael James on the carry for Lakeside. 33 Brooks Bach making the stop for Harrison.
James having an impressive season of his own here as we take a look at his stats on the year.
Your score, Lakeside Rams 14, Harrison Goblins 0.
And there you can see nearing the millennium mark here tonight, possibly. Currently sitting at around roughly 850 yards. Meanwhile, that's the end of our first quarter of play. Your score is Lakeside 14, Harrison nothing. We'll be right back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere. More Lakeside. We are back live here at J.W. Chick Austin Field. Just about ready to start this second quarter of play. The Rams have an early advantage, 14-0. And Dockery, so far, it seems like momentum is fully in the Rams' favor.
Yes, it is fully in the Rams' favor, and they're going to continue to roll with it. And the Goblins need to quickly catch up on them. They want to stop them.
Meanwhile, here comes Richard Gaston running on that left side, not wanting to go down, and he's going to have the Rams first down and then some, moving into Goblin territory on a very impressive run.
Richard Gaston is definitely one of Lakeside's lead players. Lining up at wide receiver, has 203 yards receiving on the season. It's a great rush by him.
Meanwhile, here comes James running on that right side. Quickly met by a group of Goblins there on that play. It's going to be 2nd and 8 here for the Rams. Ball on the 40-yard line. Here's another give to Swanson. Swanson running on that right side, refusing to go down. There he goes, 10-5, touchdown Lakeside. An unbelievable play there by the senior veteran. And right there, Dockery, a momentous play, his 30th touchdown of the year. What an unbelievable season this young man is having.
Incredible run, and just what have you been seeing all year? The left side of the offensive line pulling out to the right and getting upfield, getting those keys blocks, and Dupree Swanson just hitting the jet engines and got in the end zone. Here's another look at it. Again, you see the pulling guard getting upfield, leaving room for Dupree, and Dupree just does what he does best.
And that touchdown run there by Swanson, along with the PAT by Philip Gale, is going to give the Rams a 21-0 advantage here with 10:53 remaining in the second quarter of play.
Yes, early in the second quarter, Dupree Swanson already has 132 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight. The Goblins defense definitely need to find a way to control Lakeside's offense, and they just spark their offense.
Philip Gale has it teed up, and we're just about ready to kick it away. There's the kick. There he is at the 30, taken down at around the 35-yard line. And with that, the Goblins offense will set up for another drive.
Making the stop for the Rams, number 37, Alex Stewart. Harrison has the ball first down at 10 from their own 34-yard
great to see Noah Dittmanson back on the field after a scary leg injury on that last drive, Chase.
Yep, it's great to see him back here pretty quickly. Let's see what impact he can make here. And this is a beautiful pass that falls just incomplete. Great D there by Enrique Aon. Of course, an interesting story with Enrique, only 5'3". But he plays with a ton of heart. And sometimes, Dockery, it's like they always say, sometimes it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yes, Chase. Harrison has their own fair share of great wide receivers. They have one wide receiver with over 304 yards, no other than Gabe Husky. And then they have Daniel McCormick, 524 yards on the season, and Cameron Jones, 291. And last but not least, Caleb Husky with 168 yards receiving. So if you're Harrison, Chase, what steps would you make to get back in this game and try to shift the momentum a little bit?
Well, we really haven't seen a lot from this Harrison offense to this point. I think they're still feeling themselves out, haven't had a lot of snaps. Credit that to the Rams for controlling time of possession. Meanwhile, beautiful pass here again from Dittmanson. Just out of the reach of number 13, Daniel McCormick. Of course, as you said earlier, Dockery, Daniel McCormick, of course, their leading receiver on the year with 524 yards up to this point. Look for Dittmanson to make a connection with him several times here tonight. Meanwhile, there's a short pass there, and it is complete over to the right side. And that's going to bring up fourth down here for the Goblins, and they're going to be forced to possibly punt the ball away again. Indeed, hold on, it's a fake. And Dittmanson running for his life right now. It looks like he may have that first down. He does an incredible fake there.
It was a great fake. He just didn't see anybody downfield, and he saw a lot of open room, and he took advantage of it, Chase.
He really did, and of course he has over 700 yards on the year.
He's definitely a dual threat you're going to have to watch out for tonight.
And again, Dittmanson keeping it here.
I like the play call by Harrison. You're down 21-0. It's fourth down, and you just really need that momentum. And now it's up to the Lakeside defense to stick with the key to the game and to stop the run.
Meanwhile, here comes Husky on that right side. Puts together a pretty impressive run there down the right sideline. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 here for the Goblins. Giving it off to Husky here, and he's going to have that first down for Harrison. Another quarterback keeper here by Noah Dittmanson, pushing his way through that Lakeside D line.
It's been a great job by the Goblins so far on this drive, trying to get the momentum back.
Been a great balanced attack, especially on the ground, utilizing both Husky and Dittmanson. Perhaps, Dockery, they're finding what works for them here. And maybe they can shift the momentum moving forward.
Yes, definitely if you're Harrison here, you just want to go back to your basics, and that's running the ball. And you're going to see that a lot on this drive, trying to get points on the board.
It's going to be a false start call on Harrison. That'll back the Goblins up 5 yards.
Well, we definitely saw how penalties can affect teams. Lakeside having problems penalties against Watson Chapel at home 2 weeks ago, and you can definitely tell how that impacts the game, Chase.
Definitely, and it's like you said earlier, you've got to play smart on D, and that's exactly what the Rams have done here tonight. Meanwhile, here's Husky on that right side.
And off to number 23, Gabe Husky. Making the stop for Lakeside, number 20, Reese Turner. Second down and 8 for Harrison.
It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8 here for Harrison. There it is again, Dockery handing it off to Gabe Husky up the middle. And Husky just using that speed to his advantage. Putting together another impressive run here for the Goblins.
Gabe Husky, he's just so quick up the middle. He's not really, again, the Dupree Swanson type that'll run you over, but he will definitely make moves at the line and get you confused.
He's definitely got a great sense of awareness, knows where he is on the field at all times. And that speed and awareness can be a deadly combination for his opponents.
He's a scary player to play against. You definitely want to get him down before he leaves the line of scrimmage.
Just under 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter of play. Of course, we do not have a clock here tonight. We are experiencing some technical difficulties, so we do apologize for that inconvenience.
Gabe Husky with 60 yards tonight. Most of them have been on this drive. Harrison in the red zone, 3rd down. Important to see if they can execute here.
And that completion right there is going to bring up a 4th down here for the Goblins. It's an interesting decision here to make. Of course, deep in your own territory, you're down 21-0 in the second quarter of play. Do you go for it or do you kick the field goal? Well, it looks like they've made their decision and they're going to go for it here. And these Ram fans rocking the stadium. Lakeside's going to decide to talk it over here using their first time out of the half. And with that, we're going to take a break of our own. Don't go anywhere. More Lakeside football after this.
Do you talk to your family without really communicating? Our new Lennox Ultimate Comfort System communicates with each component of the system, which communicates with you at home or away, giving you the ultimate control and perfect air. Wouldn't it be nice if everything in your life worked that well together?
Call Grisham Air Care for perfect air in your home.
Grisham Air Care and Lennox, the ultimate home comfort team. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Just about set to resume action here in this 5A playoff game here at J.W. Chick Austin Field between the Harrison Goblins and your Lakeside Rams. And Dittmanson threading the needle there, with Brandon Chambers lunging out there and making an effort to stop that one, but nonetheless it's a completion for the Goblins and a first down.
It was just a great job by him looking downfield and seeing a wide open receiver, and Brandon Chambers just wasn't there quick enough to get his hand on that ball.
Gabe Husky trying to power his way through there, inching ever closer to that goal line, but he's going to be stopped shy at the 1 yard line. And this time, Husky just finding the opening. It's going to be a touchdown for Harrison. Great awareness on that play by Husky, finding the opening in the line.
Harrison fans here tonight at J.W. Chick Austin Field. A long drive up from Harrison, almost 3 hours. Great to see they have support tonight.
Some trouble there on the kick. And Lakeside capitalizing on that miscommunication there by the Goblins. The PAT is no good. So with 4:39 remaining in your second quarter of play, your score is Lakeside 21, Harrison 6.
And it just seems like the snap was a little high and to the right. Couldn't get his hands on it. That was a great job by Gabe Husky on that drive. He's got 62 yards on the night. Would you say that touchdown chase was a little bit of a momentum shifter, or do you think the momentum
It's going to be a false start here on the Rams. That's going to back them up 5 yards. But really, we haven't seen that many penalties going against Lakeside here tonight. Done a great job of playing smart on both sides of the ball, playing controlled.
It's been a good job by Lakeside, only having one penalty so far in this game.
And that aggressive but controlled style definitely working to their advantage here, at least in the first half of play thus far. It's going to be a holding call here on the Ram. And it looks like Gillum's going to throw here. Passes complete, and there goes Fleming. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Lakeside. Beautiful connection there from Gillum to Fleming. And just like that, the Rams answer back with a touchdown of their own.
A touchdown.
Kick is up and it is good. So with 4:14 remaining in the second quarter of play, your score is Lakeside 28, Harrison 6.
And here's the replay. Great protection up front and just a great thrown ball by Taylor Gillum. Plenty of air and plenty of hang time for Keelan Fleming to get underneath it. He is one of Lakeside's 4 receivers with over 200 yards on the season. He is definitely an impact player.
And actually with that reception
offense.
right there, that makes him the leader. It was an 85-yard touchdown pass, one of the greatest plays we've seen here from the Rams this year. And it makes Keelan Fleming the first Rams receiver with 300-plus yards on the year.
Well, you can definitely tell on that drive that the momentum is going to stay with the Rams.
Here's the return by the Goblins. Great play there on that left sideline by number 37, Alex Stewart. Making the open field tackle. And with that, the Goblins set up for another drive.
Harrison has the ball first down and 10 from their own 42-yard line.
Alex Stewart, one of the many stars of this Lakeside defense, leading Lakeside coming into this game with 67 tackles and 4 sacks.
Handoff to number 23, Dave Husky.
Husky with another run there, continuing to use that speed to his advantage here tonight.
Brings up second down.
Putting together another impressive run here for the Goblins. This one's a quarterback keeper by Noah Dittmanson, the senior.
That's number 12, Noah
And he's going to get that Goblin first down and then some.
That's number 20,
Moving Harrison into Ram territory, with this being a 1st and 10, ball at the Ram 39-yard line. There it is, tossed to the right side. It's Husky on the run. He's going to have another first down here for the Goblins.
making the stop for the Rams, 83, Raymond Mark.
Dockery, perhaps Harrison putting something together here.
Yes, it sure looks that way. Gabe Husky is definitely a dangerous weapon in space. He's so quick and able to make quick cuts. It's just very important that Lakeside tries to keep the edge, and they load the box to try to stop the running attack.
Meanwhile, Dittmanson, an impressive run up the gut there on the quarterback keeper. And again, it's another Harrison first down.
Harrison a 1st and 10.
Seems like something's definitely clicking here for the Goblins. They've gotten a first down on the last several plays.
Yes, and all 3 losses that Harrison has had this season, they have been held to under 250 yards rushing, except against Mountain Home.
Meanwhile, it's a quarterback keeper by Dittmanson, and it is a touchdown for Harrison. But hold on, folks. It looked like a penalty flag may have come out there on the play. Okay, apparently not, so it is indeed a Goblin touchdown. And after that missed PAT attempt, they're going to go for 2 here. And a little bit of trickery there, but it works nonetheless.
2-point conversion's good for Harrison. That makes your score Lakeside Rams 28, Harrison 14.
And with that, The Goblins cut the Rams' lead to 14.
And here's another look. Great fake and just a great job by him running through traffic and getting in for that touchdown.
And there you can see it looked like it was another run for Husky, but he quickly tossed it to number 24, Colin Ballard, who connected with Dittmanson in the end zone. Pretty creative play call there by the Goblins.
Dittmanson and Husky both combined for 157 yards so far tonight.
That's number 4, Torrin Davis, was returning the kickoff for the Rams.
With that, the Rams set up for another drive. Of course, very efficient here tonight. 4 for 4 on offensive drives. Let's see if they can continue that trend here. Of course, that last drive capped off by an impressive 85-yard pass play. Connection between Gillum and Keelan Fleming.
Taylor Gillum has only thrown 3 passes tonight, but he has completed 2 of them and 1 for a touchdown. Now, Chase, I'd say it's important here for Lakeside to go down and score on this drive, since Harrison does get the ball in the second half to go into halftime with the momentum.
That's number 39, Michael James, carrying the ball for the Rams again.
Another run up the gut there by Michael James.
Timeout on the field. Harrison will be charged for a second timeout.
And the Goblins are going to use their second time out of the half. They'll have 1 remaining here. And with that, we'll take a break of our own. Don't go anywhere. More Rams football right after this.
Before you can find your potential, you first have to find your path. At National Park College, our mission is to help you do both, with a university experience that's close to home. With career-focused education, help with job placement and a variety of programs to choose from, and a cost that's less than half of 4-year universities, National Park College can put you on the path to a better education. Visit np.edu today and find your path.
We are back live here at J.W. Chick Austin Field. 1:26 remaining in this first half of play. And before we resume action, of course, tonight, November 10th, tomorrow is November 11th, Veterans Day. We'd like to take this time to thank all active military and veterans for their service and for defending our country.
And here comes a key 4th down for Lakeside.
Harrison using their final timeout of the half here.
So, Chase, if you're Lakeside here, do you go for it on 4th down, or do you stay safe and punt the ball?
It'll be interesting to see what they call here. Of course, in your own territory, you have a 2-possession lead. Really, it seems that going for it here, a lot of risk on the Rams and a lot of reward for the Goblins.
With only 1 minute and 18 seconds remaining, you got to think, if the Goblins got the ball back, if Gabe Husky and Noah Dittmanson could get enough yards to score a touchdown here. But it looks like Lakeside's going to punt it away here and be safe.
And of course, this has turned into a game of strategy here now. The Goblins knowing that they can score with one final possession here. And of course, they're going to get the ball to start off the second half.
It looks like Philip Gale's punt may have touched one of the Goblins there.
Number 24, Colin Ballard recovers the.
But he quickly jumped on the ball. Minute 6 remaining. It's important for the Lakeside defense to get a stop here.
Meanwhile, deep pass here. And it is incomplete. Great job there by number 16, Enrique Aon. Breaking that one up there despite the size disadvantage he had.
Brings up second down and 10 for Harrison.
Aon is only 5'3", 128 pounds, but he has 53 tackles for this Lakeside defense.
And there he was outmatched by the 5'9" McCormick, but still going the extra effort and making the play.
Pass is complete to number 23, Gabe Husky. Making the stop for Rams, 17, Keelan Clement. It's Harrison's first and 10.
It's going to be 1st and 10 here for the Goblins as the clock continues to wind down. Less than a minute left to play here in the first half of play. Meanwhile, airing it out long again, it's Dittmanson. And again, he was looking for McCormick. But again, it's just going to fall incomplete. Great job by the Rams secondary, keeping what has been a pretty successful duo thus far this season, making the connection at all here tonight.
Yes, this is a great job by Landon Muldoon staying with his wide receiver and keeping an eye on Noah Dittmanson in the backfield.
And here's a run by Husky. Husky putting together a pretty impressive run there, moving into Rams territory with just 27 seconds remaining.
It was a great screen pass by Harrison, putting it into the hands of their running back.
Harrison's quarterback spikes the ball. He's second down and 10, 23 seconds before half.
With time winding down here in the half and with no timeouts left, the Goblins just going to spike it there. So it'll be 2nd and 10 with just under 24 seconds to go in this second quarter. Dittmanson looking to throw again. Pass is complete, and ooh. Pass is complete there. Pretty interesting call there by the Goblins. Looked like a hook and ladder.
We have definitely seen this Goblin offense spark up in the second quarter, Chase. We knew how dangerous they were going into this game.
And Dittmanson rifles it over the middle. Pass is complete. He's taken down in the middle of the field. And again, they're going to have to hurry up to the line here and potentially spike the ball to stop the clock.
First down for Harrison.
And that's exactly what they're going to do here.
Second down and 10. 6 seconds before half.
6.7 seconds remaining here in the first half of play. Goblins threatening to score late.
Six seconds here. You got to go to the end zone. Only have time for about one more play.
Airing it out long, it's Dittmanson, and he found his man, and it's a touchdown for Harrison.
Complete to number 21, Caleb Husky. Touchdown, Harrison.
On that play, it was Dittmanson hooking up with Caleb Husky. And just like that, the Goblins back in this ball game. Just one score away here from tying it up. Penalty flags down there on the kick. Call is going to be encroachment on the Rams.
This is not what you want if you're a Lakeside going into the second half just after the Goblins have scored. A little bit of a momentum changer here, wouldn't you say, Chase?
Definitely. And as you said earlier, Dockery, and as we've talked about all night long, it's becoming a game of strategy at this point. And Harrison has found a strategy that's working for him thus far, of course, with that PAT making it a 7-point lead for the Rams. And the Goblins getting the ball to kick off the second half. So we'll see what they do with that extra possession, potentially tying this game up in the early going of that second half.
And here's another look at that touchdown. Just a little bit lost in coverage, just enough room for him to put that ball in there.
Harrison set to kick off. Back deep for the Rams, 21. Brandon
Noah Dittmanson, 9 for 13 on the night, 103 yards and a passing touchdown. This Goblins offense is definitely sparked in the second quarter.
Exactly 1 second remaining here in this first half of play, and it looks like this kickoff will probably be the final play of the second quarter. But it looks like, in fact, the Rams are going to have time for one more play here. Great awareness there by Torrin Davis on that left sideline. And actually, the referees are going to say the clock has expired. So that is the end of the first half of play. After 2 quarters, your score is Lakeside 28, Harrison 21. Don't forget to stick around for our halftime festivities presented by Grisham Air Care. We'll be back live here in the booth in just a few minutes.
the award-winning Golden Goblin Marching Band under the field command of senior Alex Gibson. Field commander Alex Gibson is your band ready. You may take the field. One more time, the award-winning pride of Northwest Arkansas, the Harrison High School Golden Goblin Marching Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the show bands of Lakeside. Tonight they will be presenting their 2017 halftime competition show titled Nevermore. The show is inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's timeless masterpiece, The Raven. The band is under the field direction of drum majors Ariana Honey, Catherine Calandro, and Jacob Hackett. The show will be featuring soloists Andrew Tucker, Brianna Keller, Michaela Lovell, Victoria Lee, and Ariana Pollard.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor tapping at my chamber door. Only this fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Ghastly, grim, an ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore, quoth the raven nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Take thy beat from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door.
And we are back live here at JW Chick Austin Field. Exiting the field right now the show band of Lakeside. Of course, another great show themed around The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. But now let's get back to the game at hand. As we take a look at these plays from the first half,
Gabe Husky has definitely made an impact on this game so far. He had a great first half with 86 yards, leading his Goblins to come back in the second quarter to keep things close between the Rams and the Goblins. He's done a great job when he's had room the outside and the defense has not set the edge. As you can see there, plenty of space to the outside. But on this play, you see that the Lakeside defense had a great job setting the edge and pushing into the backfield. This is what Lakeside needs to do in the second half if they want to stop the Goblins' offense and stop Gabe Husky.
and another player that had an impressive first half, of course, Dupree Swanson. He's had 3 touchdowns thus far, over 100 yards. As we take a look at one of his more impressive runs of the evening. Of course, here we take another look. A great run here to the right side by Swanson. And really where you see the emphasis right here. A Goblin defender trying to hitch a ride, but Dupree saying, nope, sorry. This ride on the D train is full. It's incredible the strength this young man has. Look for him to utilize it here again in the second half of play. Well, Dockery, the teams have had 2 quarters to feel each other out. What do you think is going to be some keys to success for both teams as we head into this second half of play?
I think it starts right when the third quarter begins. Harrison's going to get the ball to begin the second half, and I think it's very important for both teams. If you're Harrison, you want to get down there and score and tie the game up and continue to have that momentum that you ended with in the second quarter. But if you're Lakeside's defense, you're going to want to get that momentum back, and you're going to want to get a stop, and you want to get the ball back into your offensive hands.
It's a chilly night here at JW Chick Austin Field. There you can see the Rams student section. And even though it's cold, they're still out here in full force, cheering on their Rams.
This is a great job by Dupree in the first half. 3 touchdowns already in this game. Lakeside sticking with the reliable. Great outside run. Again, Lakeside does this every game. Pulling guards and pulling tackles, creating gaps of room for Dupree Swanson. Definitely Dupree's best play of the night right here. Great stiff arm and a great score.
And as Philip Gale tees it up, we're just about ready to resume action here with the second half of play. Three men back deep to return here for the Goblins, including Gabe Husky, who's had some pretty impressive returns here this evening to go along with his rushing performance.
Noah Ditmison and this Goblins offense are going to start with great field position. It was definitely an impressive second quarter for the Harrison Goblins.
And we kind of saw a tale of two quarters in that first half of play. Lakeside dominating the first half, or the first quarter, excuse me. But hold on here. Gabe Husky found an opening on that left side, and he gets a huge gain there. Getting inside the 5-yard line. And that one right there could be a huge momentum shifter early on in the second half of play. And just like that, the Goblins knocking on Lakeside's door. Ditmanson here on the keeper. It's one thing we've seen a lot of here tonight, a balanced attack. With Harrison's own 1-2 punch, of course, we always talk about Michael James and Dupree Swanson here at Lakeside. But Harrison has a dynamic duo of their own in that run game. Of course, Gabe Husky as well as Noah Ditmanson on those quarterback keepers. Meanwhile, here's Husky just powering his way through, and it is a touchdown for Harrison.
This is not what you want to do coming out of the half if you're the Lakeside defense. As you can see, Coach McBride does not look very happy with his defense.
And there are flags down on the PAT. It's going to be encroachment on the Rams.
Gabe Husky continues to have a excellent night so far, 141 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And it looks like we're going to see a pretty impressive, and this looks like it could be a risky call here. Definitely an interesting one. Harrison's going for 2 after that penalty, but the risk is going to pay off. Gabe Husky again finding the opening in that D-line for the Rams. And just like that, the Goblins are on top in this one.
And here's another look at that touchdown. Great vision by Gabe Husky, finding the gap and getting into the end zone. That was a good first drive coming out of the half for the Harrison Goblins.
And with less than a minute away here in the second half of play, the Goblins have a 1-point advantage. Of course, at one point they trailed 21-0 here in this one. An impressive comeback for Harrison. And after that return by Keelan Fleming, the Rams set up for another drive. Fleming had a pretty big play there in that first half of play, connecting with Taylor Gillum for an 85-yard touchdown.
I'd look for the Lakeside offense here to give the ball off to Dupree, try to get that momentum back, try to get what they're used to doing.
Penalty flags are down on the play. Looked like there might have been a shift in that Rams O-line. Indeed, there was. It's going to be false start on Lakeside, and that's going to back them up 5 yards. Well, Dockery, you said it earlier in our pregame show. You have to play smart. A couple penalties here for the Rams early in the third quarter. You know, how do you recover? How do you bounce back?
Yes, you definitely need to limit those the best you can. And just a great play call by Coach McBride, giving the ball off to Dupree Swanson on that one. Has over 140 yards on the night. Why not just hand it to him again, Chase?
That run's going to set the Rams up with a 1st and 10 in Goblin territory. And this time the Goblins sniffed that one out right from the snap. An impressive tackle at the line by number 73, Justin Rowland. And Gillum looking to throw here. Pass is intercepted. Big play there for the Goblins. And now we're going to take another look with this replay sponsored by National Park College. And there you can see it actually looked like it was Noah Dittmanson on the INT there for Harrison.
Taylor Gillum's first interception 4 weeks. It's crucial that the Lakeside defense gets a stop here on this drive. You do not want the Harrison Goblins lead to get any more.
Gabe Husky there with another run to the left side. Found an opening. And he's going to get another first down here for the Goblins.
Harrison continuing to do what they do best, run the ball. They have 7 wins, averaging 330 yards rushing. And their 3 losses, they average 211 yards rushing. Gabe Husky and Noah Dittmanson already have over 200 yards rushing combined.
Penalty flag down on that last run by Gabe Husky. Husky having an impressive night of his own here. Currently sitting at 142 yards on the night. And just like their stats for the season, it seems like Dupree Swanson and Gabe Husky are neck and neck with the stats in this individual game here tonight. There's going to be another penalty here. It's unsportsmanlike conduct on the Rams. And that's going to move Harrison deeper into Lakeside territory. Well, Dockery, early on in that first half, Rams had a 21-0 advantage. Harrison not giving in, though, on the road. Has come back to make this a 29-28 ball game. As Lakeside, how are you going to gain some of that momentum you lost back?
I think it all starts with stopping the run. Harrison, in their 7 wins, averaged 12 passes a game, and in their 3 losses, 23 passes per game. So basically, when you stop the run and force them to throw the ball, that's how you beat Harrison. And we saw a little bit of that in the first quarter, and I think Lakeside needs to get back to that, is setting the edge and stopping the run and forcing Harrison to throw the ball.
They're going to give it off to Husky here. The Rams saw that coming from a mile away. Great job overall there by the Lakeside D, especially Alex Stewart. Making that tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
And we're going to take another look at that previous Lakeside stop. It's exactly what you need to do every single play. You can see that Keelan Fleming had the edge, and even though Alex Stewart went up there up the middle, you had people on the edge to stop Gabe Husky.
Now here it is, 3rd and 9. A decisive 3rd and 9 at that. A lot of momentum riding on this one play, and Noah Dittmanson on the quarterback keeper, pushing his way through. But it looks like he's going to be stopped shy of that goal line. And it's going to be 4th and goal here for Harrison. Dockery, as Harrison, you're up by 1 right now. But you are deep in your opponent's territory. Do you go for the field goal here?
I think if you're Harrison, you go all for it. You have the momentum with you.
Flags down on the play. It's going to be encroachment on the Rams. Moving the Goblins ever deeper into Ram territory. There's a give, and Husky easily finding the opening on that right side. And it is another touchdown for the Goblins. And over the course of this game, we've seen a complete momentum shift. The Rams find themselves up 21-0 at one point. But since then, Harrison's gone on a, at this point, 35-7 run. Definitely an impressive comeback for the Goblins. Here's the PAT, and it is good.
Just look at that previous play. It was a good job by him seeing that there was no spot to run the ball at the middle, and just a good cut by him by the outside.
Husky finding a lot of openings on the outside here tonight. And you credit that both to his awareness and to a great performance here by this Goblin O-line.
Taylor Gillum and this Lakeside offense really need to get the momentum back on their side.
The kick is away, and it's going to go out of bounds. So the Goblins will be charged with illegal procedure. And with that, Gillum and the Rams offense set up for another drive.
First and 10 for Lakeside and this Taylor Gillum offense.
Short completion there to number 2, Richard Gaston. And as we move deeper into the third quarter of play here, we're going to go ahead and give you a scoring recap. The Rams starting off hot, going on a 21-0 run to start off the ball game, including 3 tremendous touchdowns by Dupree Swanson, really showing off his strength. But the Goblins striking back, currently on a 36-7 run. And Dockery, we've seen a complete shift in momentum here tonight.
We definitely have. It's just all of a sudden the second quarter, Harrison got together on offense and they started scoring, and just Lakeside has not found a stop for it yet.
Dupree trying to run it to the right side there, but he is met at the line by a group of Goblins. That's going to bring up 2nd and 9 here for the Rams. Here's another run for Swanson. Swanson not wanting to go down, but he's finally met by a swarm of Harrison Goblins. But not before he gets the Rams into Harrison territory. And that decent run up the gut is going to bring up a 3rd and 4 here for the Rams with the ball on the Harrison 49-yard line.
Very important 3rd down for Lakeside here. Need to convert to get this momentum back on their side as the third quarter winds down.
Swanson rang it to the right side. There he goes. Stays on his feet inside the 30 and taken down and around the 25-yard line. And Dockery, perhaps that's the shot in the arm the Rams need right now.
That's exactly what they needed. Taylor Gillum was lined up as a wide receiver on that one, and just Dupree Swanson ran on the opposite side. It was just a great play call and a great gain by Lakeside, trying to find their way back into this game.
There goes Swanson on that left side.
Dupree Swanson approaching that 200-yard mark tonight. Already with 3 touchdowns on the night.
And he's continuing to move toward his elusive goal. Coming in, he wanted 2,000 yards on the year. He is nearing that mark here tonight. This time it's a give off to James.
Lakeside sticking to that 1-2 punch they have in running back Dupree Swanson and Michael James. Both of them average 7 yards a carry.
And really, Michael James has had a great couple last weeks. In his last 4 games, he's gotten 6 of his 8 touchdowns on the year, but hold on, fumble. Great job by Swanson to recover it there.
Not what you want if you're the Lakeside offense on a 3rd down. It's going to be 4th down for the Rams, but they definitely need to score here, so it looks like they're going to go for it, Chase.
4th and 7. We'll see what they go with here. Will it be a run or a pass? It's going to be a pass, and it is complete. Zach Zimmerman making the catch there just outside the goal line.
And here's another look at it. Great jet sweep fake to the outside and a great ball placement by Taylor Gillum. Great job by Zach Zimmerman hanging on to that ball.
And meanwhile, Michael James making his way into the end zone for another Lakeside touchdown. That touchdown for James makes it 9 on the year. He's definitely put together an impressive season of his own. And really caps off this 1-2 punch the Rams have in their run game. Right here, down 2, the Rams are going to go for 2. Swanson found the opening, and he reaches. Refs say he got it. Swanson going the extra mile there, and it pays off as he ties this game back up with 1:53 to go in the third quarter of play. Your score is tied at 36.
Chase, I'd definitely say this is a momentum changer in this game.
It's going to be interesting to see where the momentum lies after that, of course. As we start off, it seemed that the Rams had all of the momentum, but then Harrison coming back, taking the lead. Now the Rams coming back, tying this one up. We'll see where the momentum goes from here.
It's a really great play call by Coach McBride. Send Gaston in motion. Taylor Gillen being patient and just great ball placement by him. And a great job hanging on to it by Zach Zimmerman. You can't get any better than that, Chase.
You really can't. It's been a close game, but these Rams not giving in.
It's important that this Lakeside defense coming on has made some adjustments to be able to stop Gabe Husky on this drive.
And after that kick, Harrison's going to set up for another drive. Again, it's been a major turnaround here for them. Currently sitting with a 36-15 run over the last 2 quarters. And here goes Dittmanson on that right side. He's going to be pushed out of bounds just past the 50-yard line by number 16, Enrique Aon. And again, Enrique at a bit of a size disadvantage there. But he is not one to back down. And here goes Husky on that right side. Again, an impressive run for the Goblins, and that's going to bring up another first down here for Harrison.
This game is starting to look like it's beginning to be a shootout. Lakeside averages 33 points a game, and Harrison averages 36 points a game.
Big play there by number 37, Alex Stewart.
That was a great stop in the backfield by Alex Stewart. 6'2", 192 pounds. Leads the team in tackles and sacks. Great job by him shooting through the gap and making sure he set the edge, and a great tackle in the backfield.
There is short dump pass off to Husky. But it's going to be enough for a Goblins first down. Excuse me, it's going to be short of a first down here. It's going to bring up third down here for the Goblins. Clock continuing to run here. And Harrison's going to head over to the sideline, indicating that that was our final play in this third quarter. Well, 3 quarters down, 1 to go, and we got a barn burner here. Rams tied up with the Goblins, 36-36, heading into our final quarter of play. We're going to take a short break here, but don't go anywhere. More Lakeside football right after this.
Exceeding expectations is not just a motto, it's what we do at the Greg Orr Auto Collection in Hot Springs and the Greg Orr Auto Collection in Searcy. From offering you over 2,500 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, to giving you award-winning service in our modern state-of-the-art facilities, exceeding expectations is what we do.
At the Greg Orr Auto Collection in Hot Springs and Searcy, where we're exceeding expectations every day.
We are back live here at J.W. Chick Austin Field at Lakeside Stadium. Just about ready to get underway with this fourth quarter of play. It's getting late, but none of these Ram fans making their way to the exit yet. It's been a great game. Dittmanson looking to throw. He may have a man here. He does. It was number 13, Daniel McCormick, there on the reception, keeping his feet in bounds. And that's good enough for a Goblins first down.
That was a great catch by Daniel McCormick on the previous play. He's only 5'9", 150 pounds, but he leads the Goblins in receiving with 524 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Penalty flag down on that last play. It's going to be a face mask on the Rams. And that penalty could prove costly as Harrison goes even deeper into Ram territory here. Ball now on the 3-yard line. There's a give off to Husky. Does he have another touchdown? No, he does not. Ram D backed deep into their own territory there. Great job of bending but not breaking. Stopping Husky just shy of that goal line. And again, it's another stand at the goal line by the Rams.
It's been a great last 2 plays by this Lakeside defense, giving it all they got to keep Husky out of the end zone.
Hold on, it looks like there's a Ram down on the field. Can't really tell who it is, but from this angle, it looks like number 55, John Fuller. With this injury timeout, we're going to take a timeout of our own. We'll be right back after these messages. We are back live here, 10:34 remaining in the fourth quarter of play. We have an injury timeout right now. Ryan Pelt down on that last play.
He is one of the defensive leaders here at Lakeside. It'd be a hard loss to lose him. But it's good to see him up and walking off the field.
Looks like he was just shaken up a little bit on that last play. Hopefully we can see him return here.
We definitely remember his name and against the game of Camden Fairview where he had a season-high 8 tackles and 3 sacks.
Definitely a key in that huge victory for the Rams. Kicking off conference play. And this time the Goblins just pushing their way through that Lakeside D-line. And with that, the Goblins take the lead. Another shift down there on the line. We'll see what the call is here. It's going to be a false start against Harrison. And that's going to back them up on this PAT attempt. These Ram fans are getting noisy here as the kick is up and it will split the uprights. So with 10:26 remaining in the fourth quarter of play, your score is Harrison 43, Lakeside 36.
And here's the replay of that touchdown. A hurry-up offense by the Goblins, and Gabe Husky just plows it in there. Gabe Husky definitely continues to be an impact in this game with 176 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 50 yards receiving.
With this short break in the action, Dockery, let's take a look at your keys to the game.
The keys to the game were stop the run game, which Lakeside has not done very well in the second, third quarter. And for Taylor Gillen to be consistent, we saw a little bit on that last drive by Lakeside, beginning to get that back and play smart and have discipline on defense.
Short kick here from the Goblins. With that, the Rams set up for another drive. As we get later and later into this ball game, Landon, do you think we're going to see Taylor Gillum air it out a little bit more?
I think with the success you had on the last drive, you're going to see a little bit more of that. And it seems like the Goblins have caught on a little bit to Dupree Swanson and begin to slow him down a little bit. So I think you'll see either Taylor Gillum take it to the air, or a little more trick plays by Coach McBride that he has in his back pocket.
Gillum looking to throw, and he's got Gaston. And that pass is going to be good enough for another Lakeside first down.
Richard Gaston, one of great 4 wide receivers with over 200 yards this season. Taylor Gillum definitely has a lot of weapons.
And Gillum looked like the ball slipped out of his hands there. It might have been a low snap. And he's going to be taken down pretty deep in the backfield as we take another look here. And you can see maybe a little bit of a low snap there.
So not much you can do.
Gillum did a pretty good job trying to avoid the pressure. But ultimately he couldn't on that one. Again, Gillum feeling the pressure of that Goblin D-line. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and very long here for the Rams. Well, Landon, it's 3rd and 23 here. What would you go with here in this situation?
There's not a lot you can do here, Chase, but I'm sure McBride has something up his sleeve to try to pick up that first down.
Long throw downfield, but it is going to be incomplete. Like number 17, Keelan Fleming was the intended receiver. That's going to bring up 4th and 23 here for the Rams.
Well, Chase, this game definitely has a lot to do with the season of these two teams. It's a win or go home game.
A lot on the line here tonight. Tensions running high.
The winner of this game next week will either play PA or Valley View, and PA is favored. Well, it's the playoffs. You never know, Chase.
Timeout's going to be called here by the Rams.
And here's the road to the championship. 5A playoff bracket. Lakeside at the bottom with Harrison. And the winner of this game will play either Pulaski Academy or Valley View next week.
Pulaski Academy, of course, a little bit of a dynasty in 5A football, currently going for their 4th straight state title. Should they win tonight, it's going to be a tough challenge for either team. Heading into Little Rock. Philip Gale kicks this one away. Pretty good kick. It is going to be down at around the 31-yard line by number 83, David Regenhart.
If you're the Lakeside defense, you definitely have to get a stop on this drive, Chase.
The stop is definitely crucial here, and this drive could do a lot in determining where the momentum will shift moving forward. And there goes Husky finding those openings again on the outside. And Landon, he's had a lot of success running to the outside. Goblin O-line doing a great job of opening up those opportunities for him. You know, what's going to be a key to success in stopping him as this game continues?
Looks like Husky's a little shaken up on the sideline. But it's crucial to stop the Harrison Goblins run game, and you just have to set the edge. That's the only thing you can really do. And those outside runs are working so well that when Noah Dittmanson decides to run the ball up the middle, it works because everyone's trying to get the outside to set the edge because Husky is such a threat to the outside.
This balanced rushing attack from the Goblins definitely benefiting them in the long run here tonight. And here it is. Dittmanson's going to keep it himself here. And he has an opening. There he goes. He is finally going to be taken down at the 10-yard line, but not before a huge gain and another Harrison first down. And now a score update out of the 5A. It looks like right now whoever wins this ball game, of course it's anybody's ball game here, but it looks like PA has Valley View in hand here tonight. Currently leading 57-14 at home against the Blazers.
Thanks to Gabe Husky and Noah Dittmanson, Harrison is already over their 294-yard average for rushing a game.
And there goes Dittmanson again on that right side. It's going to bring up a second down here for the Goblins. And Landon, do you think that this drive right here could determine the overall outcome of this ball game?
I think it definitely can. Lakeside really needs to stop here. And when they get the ball back on offense, they really need to score. Because it doesn't look like this Lakeside defense can slow them down very much. And you might just have to force a shootout, Chase.
Well, it's definitely been a high-scoring affair here tonight. Current score reading 43-36 in favor of Harrison. Harrison, of course, coming back from that early 21-0 deficit. And right there, it's a touchdown for the Goblins. Noah Dittmanson again on the quarterback keeper up the middle. And that gives Harrison a 2-score advantage here about halfway through the fourth quarter. Kick is away and it is good. So with 6:58 remaining in the fourth quarter of your play, your score is Harrison 50, Lakeside 36.
Big drive coming up for the Lakeside offense. Need to get points on the board, try to get some momentum back.
As it stands right now, Harrison currently on an incredible 50-15 run since that first quarter of play. Definitely an impressive comeback here for the Goblins. This drive could do a lot in determining where the momentum in this game goes from here. And this is a booming kick. It's going to be Keelan Fleming on the return, and there he goes. past the 25-yard line, not quite to the 30. And here comes Gillum in the Rams offense for another drive.
On this drive, Chase, do you think we'll see more of a passing offense or continue to run heavy?
It could really go either way when you look at it. Of course, Lakeside's had success both ways here tonight. There's still some time left on the clock. You could go back to that run game. You still have time to go to it. But again, you also have to have that urgency. May go with the pass play.
And don't forget, if you're not following us on social media, follow us at Lakeside TV. A timeout taken by Lakeside. Coach McBride talking to Taylor Gillum and his offense, getting him ready for this huge drive.
Gillum's going to look to throw here. Pass is complete to Michael James, but he is quickly taken down there by number 33, Brooks Both. Both definitely a leader for this Goblins defense. Coming into this game, he was tied with Mason Martin for tackles at 63 apiece. Pass is intercepted there. Looks like it was number 30, Mason Martin. And that one, a big play for him there. His first INT of the year, and there's not much of a better time he could have gotten it.
That's a big hit to the Lakeside offense. Really need to get downfield and score there.
Flags down on the play.
Taylor Gillum is now 6 for 9 on the night, a touchdown and 2 interceptions.
And the ref has waved the penalty flag off here. And before we resume action, let's take another look at that INT there by Mason Martin. You know, we had just talked about it. He's a tackle leader, but now getting his first big interception of the year. Not much of a better place he could have gotten it, and it's a real momentum shifter here. As the clock continues to wind down, Harrison currently sitting with a 2-touchdown advantage over the Lakeside.
Lakeside really needs to stop here if they want to continue to stay in this ball game. A turnover would be very beneficial for Lakeside here.
Looks like Harrison just milking the clock here. And they're going to take a timeout with 5:26 remaining in the fourth quarter. And as the players down on the field take a timeout, we will as well. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Do you talk to your family without really communicating? Our new Lennox Ultimate Comfort System communicates with each component of the system, which communicates with you at home or away, giving you the ultimate control and perfect air. Wouldn't it be nice if everything in your life worked that well together?
Call Grisham Air Care for perfect air in your home.
Grisham Air Care and Lennox, the ultimate home comfort team. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
We are back live here at J.W. Chick Austin Field at Lakeside Stadium. The Goblins currently have a 2-score advantage over the Rams, looking to add on to that here. But a great play at the line made by the Lakeside D. And while we have a break in the action, let's take another look at the playoff outlook. And we have got a finalized score out of Pulaski Academy. The Bruins taking down the Blazers 57-21. So whoever wins this ball game will have to face a PA team that's looking for their 4th straight state title.
Noah Dickinson continues to have a good night, 11 for 15, 134 yards and a touchdown. And over 154 yards rushing. Well, Chase, from the looks of the first quarter, looking at this Goblins offense, I would have never guessed that they would have came back and did such a great job coming back into this game.
You know, in the early going, it seemed like an improbable comeback. But Harrison found a way around that 21-0 deficit early on, just shook it off, played their game, and it's been beneficial to him here in the long run. Currently up 2 scores and looking to add to that here with this 4th down conversion. And the Goblins just continuing to pound their way through there all the way to the end zone. Big touchdown there for the Goblins, putting them up 3 scores.
With only 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, it looks like it's going to be pretty tough for Lakeside to come back from this one.
Of course, anything can happen in high school football.
Especially the playoffs.
That PAT attempt was no good. So 3:45 remaining in the game. Your score is Harrison 56, Lakeside 36. Well, Landon, as you said, at this point, a win doesn't seem very probable here for the Rams. Of course, stranger things have happened. But even with a loss tonight, Rams had a very impressive season, coming back from that 0-3 record in non-conference to win 6 of 7 in conference, gaining their 3rd straight playoff berth. In a first-round matchup here at home. Kick is away. It's going to be number 21, Brandon Chambers, on the return. And he's going to make it back out to around the 35-yard line, and that's where Taylor Gillum and the Lakeside offense is going to set up for another drive. Well, Landon, we talked about it earlier. Now you get later in the ballgame, sense of urgency. Do you go to the pass game here more frequently?
I think if you're Lakeside here, you definitely need to pass the ball to try to get you a chance of winning this ball game.
Gillum looking to throw and passes incomplete, intended for number 2, Richard Gaston. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 here for the Rams.
Taylor Gillum so far on the night, 6 for 10, 127 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
And here Gillum airing it out long. That's going to fall incomplete, out of bounds again. It was intended for number 2, Richard Gaston. Gaston in the preseason, Coach McBride said he'd been working really hard to get an enhanced spot on this roster. It's definitely showed here this season coming into this matchup. He has a touchdown and over 200 yards. It's definitely been an impressive season here for the junior. That pass is incomplete. Again, trying to hook up with number 2, Richard Gaston. And that's going to bring up 4th and 10 here for the Rams. Phil Gale set to kick it away here. And it's a booming kick. Bounces back a few yards. With that, the Goblins offense setting up for another drive here. It's been a very impressive night for their unit. Putting up 56 points on the board. At first trailing 21-0.
Noah Didmonson, 3 touchdowns tonight, looking for another one on this drive.
As the clock continues to wind down here, now we take a look at the legacy that these seniors for this Lakeside Rams team have left. Of course, Dupree Swanson, the first name that comes to mind. Over 1,800 yards this year. Very impressive, 30 touchdowns. He's also got 2 conference championships under his name, as well as many of the seniors here. Other names coming to mind, Brandon Chambers, David Reaganhart, Torrin Davis, all having great seasons. You can't leave out Landon and Carson Muldoon.
Alex Stewart, Logan Gardner, the list just goes on and on and on. This is an impressive senior class. They've made it to the playoffs all 3 years that they have played football. Win or loss tonight has definitely been a good season for the Lakeside Rams. Conquering being 0-3 and coming back to go 6 for 7 in conference.
Harrison just continuing to milk the clock here. Less than 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter of play. And up next week with a W here tonight, Harrison, of course, taking on PA. The Dynasty up in Little Rock, going for their 4th straight state title. Game will be at PA. Landon, how do you think it's going to be for this Harrison team going into an atmosphere like that, facing a team that's really become a dynasty in 5A football?
It will definitely be a challenge for them to beat PA at PA. And I think it's important for teams that are facing teams that are bigger than them just to stick to your basics and do what you do best and have a few trick plays up your sleeve and just do the best you can.
And those Harrison fans starting to get a little bit antsy here. They know what's coming. Very impressive game here tonight by the Goblins, putting together an incredible comeback, going on a 56-15 run to close out this one. And right here, it looks like they're going to go into victory formation one last time, and they will. It looks like that's going to be the final play of this ball game. And with that, the clock hits all zeros. And this game's over. The Rams falling short here tonight, 56-36. Bittersweet moment for these seniors, making it to the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. Just falling short here in the first round. And Landon, what are your thoughts on this season?
I would still say the season is a success. Overcoming being 0-3 and coming back and having a great run in conference. And I think it's very special for these seniors to just go over how they did this season and just to be proud to be a Ram.
With this game, it wraps up the career of many of our own here at Lakeside TV in football. Of course, you, Landon, you know, what are your thoughts on your time here?
I would just like to thank the whole broadcasting team and you, Chase, and as well as Mr. Slayton, and just thank you for a great time, and I'm thankful to be able to do this, and it's been a good run.
Because I'd like to thank you too, Landon, and also many of our seniors. You know, Isaac Miller working behind the scenes here, Clark Hill directing here tonight, and the list just goes on and on. We'd like to thank all of our seniors, and we'd like to thank you for tuning in all season long here at Lakeside TV. We will be back right here next fall. Until then, this is Chase Hartzell signing off. Have a great evening, and go Rams.